Illegal immigration is wrong, plain and simple. Until the American people are convinced that we will stop future flows of illegal immigration, we will make no progress on dealing with the millions of illegal immigrants who are here now and on rationalizing our system of legal immigration. It's plain and simple and unavoidable. When we use phrases like undocumented workers, we convey a message to the American people that their government is not serious about combating illegal immigration, which the American people overwhelmingly oppose. If you don't think it's illegal, you're not going to say it. I think it is illegal and wrong, and we have to change it. Above all else, the American people want their government to be serious about protecting the public, enforcing the rule of law, and creating a rational system of legal immigration that will proactively fit our needs rather than reactively responding to future waves of illegal immigration. People who enter the United States without our permission are illegal aliens, and illegal aliens should not be treated the same as people who entered the U.S. legally.
Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. The clip that I just showed you was good old boy Chucky Schumer back in like 2009, I believe it was, giving in my opinion, a bullshit speech out in Georgetown Law, talking about how he felt about illegal immigration. Fast forward now, X amount of years, obviously he's changed his tune. He thinks that, you know, the border should be wide open, and I don't know if anybody caught wind of it, but some judges in New York just struck down, I don't know if it was a bill that they were trying to pass or a law or whatever the case is, but they just struck down the state of New York, saying that no, they're not going to give 800,000 illegal immigrants the right to vote in local elections. So that's a good win. But you know, the left is going to try to go after that because in their eyes, you know, it's a good thing. But I bring this up because, and don't let my title to my video fool you, I'll get to that in a second. I bring this up because I don't know if anybody's heard, but Tyson Foods has just decided to lay off thousands of Americans from one of their plants, close it down, and reopen it in Tennessee, and is supposed to be working with the government to hire up to, believe the number is 52,000 illegal immigrants. Okay, you heard that right. Okay, some numbers say 30,000, some say 42, some say 52. If the numbers are right, I'd say it's about that many. And there's going to be some interesting stuff that I'm going to show you about Tyson. Just stick with me. I'll try to keep this video as short as possible. But anyway, with that being said, I want to thank all my new subscribers and all my subscribers here on YouTube and on Rumble. So don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around, join the movement, especially pass this video around, because this is going to affect a lot of Americans, okay, especially right now with the way the economy is going. But also, if you want to help to support the channel, I'll leave a link in my description to my Cash App and PayPal and my merch store, TrueOutlawPatriot.com. So with this video, and with that being said, I'm going to show you the clip of what Tyson's doing, and then I have an article to read you about this whole fiasco that's going on. And this is one of the reasons why so many people are having a hard time with all these woke companies and the left. You know, you would think that Tyson, they brag about themselves of being a family business, and yet look at what they want to pull. Okay, but like I said, there's some interesting stuff I need to show you about Tyson. So let's get to the next video. Here we go.
Armitra and Tyson laid off 1,200 workers after closing its pork factory in Perry, Iowa, only later to announce 52,000 jobs for migrants.
The company's excuse: migrants are getting the jobs that Americans don't want. A human resources executive for the company telling Bloomberg the migrants have been, quote, very loyal. They've been uprooted, and what they want is stability. What they want is a sense of belonging.
Let's bring in Fox and Friends Weekend co-host Pete Hegseth. Pete, good to see you. But again, lower wages, taking American jobs. This was the reason why Democrats were opposed to illegal immigration 10, 15, 25 years ago. But here it plays out. This costs Americans a lot.
That's true. It was also the reason why the Chamber of Commerce crowd of the Republican Party was so resistant to Donald Trump back in 2015, 2016, dependent on importing cheap labor. He said, we're going to build that wall, we're going to stop this, I'm going to put Americans first, wages will rise as a result. And now you've got an inversion of that with the Democrat Party saying, come on in. And then you've heard glimpses of it, right? When Nancy Pelosi said, who else is going to pick our crops, right? And that's their mindset. And the businesses are happy to do it when there's no E-Verify or there's no consequences. And so cheaper labor for this business to produce the product. And it's not an easy job. People that do those jobs, they're dirty, they're tough, but Americans should have the first shot, and they should have a good shot at a good wage.
And it's so dismissive, the language that they use, that Americans don't want these jobs. Really?
Americans have these jobs.
Right.
They lost them.
Correct. And if you talk about paying, if Americans are doing the jobs, they're going to raise the wages for the jobs too. That's all good for everybody.
Shifting gears now to this.
Okay, now, so you heard that right there. Now, what I find horrible about this is when Biden did his State of the Union, okay, last week or the week before, whatever the case was, he said that he basically brought back 15 million jobs onto the workforce, which is total BS. Okay, if anybody does their research, they'll see that a lot of those jobs, if not all, okay, were actually jobs that needed to be refilled because of people getting fired and not being able to work because of what happened with COVID. Okay, what he doesn't tell you is that more Americans, okay, are not working, more illegals are working. So if he thinks that he brought back jobs for these illegals as being a good thing for America, well, he's definitely dead wrong, number one. And number two, as you can see, I've known of a lot of people that always wanted to work in some of these food processing factories, okay? And it's true, a lot of these jobs, they're not easy, but they get paid good wages. So now what Tyson Food wants to basically do is throw lipstick on this pig. So I advise everybody to boycott Tyson Foods, and I'm gonna leave a list of all the products that they own at the end of the video, so that you guys can take a screenshot, and when you go shopping next time, make sure that they're not on your grocery list. Okay, that's just the way I see to do it. Okay, the left wants to boycott, companies want to boycott, people want to protest. It's time for America to start boycotting, because you know what? American families are going to suffer from this, especially in a place that's small. I believe they said Perry, Iowa. Okay, I believe they said there's only about 10,000 people there or something like that, or 15,000. Maybe I'm wrong with the numbers. But to lay off 1,300 people just to close the plant down, reopen it in Tennessee. If you're from Tennessee and you care about the American people and you don't want 52,000 illegals or whatever the case is crowding your state and taking jobs, I suggest you boycott them there also. Okay, plain and simple. People may think this is cruel, what I'm saying. No, it's not cruel. Okay, nobody invited this many people into this country, number one. And why should Tyson worry about giving illegals jobs and that they want it more than Americans, when Americans want a decent wage? But how are you going to have a decent wage when you get to a certain point and they say, you know what, we don't want to pay that no more, we're going to hire this much? How much more can it be to keep 1,300 Americans working as opposed to 52,000 illegals? Okay, now the thing with that is that people think that the government's not in cahoots with this. Now the next article that I'm going to show you, okay, is going to explain a little more why Tyson might be doing this. And if I had to guess, I do believe this is why they're doing it. But here we go. Okay, now this article is by United Liberty Markets Today. It says here, U.S. government is paying companies for hiring illegal immigrants and laying off American workers. Finance expert John Williams highlights a concerning trend in American hiring practices, where tax credits incentivize companies to prioritize migrant workers over American citizens. This phenomenon coupled with corporate investments in workforce housing, poses significant implications for the job market and real estate sector. Williams explains how companies are leveraging tax credits such as the Work Opportunity Tax Credit to substantially reduce labor costs associated with hiring migrants, with incentives amounting to nearly $10,000 per migrant hire. Corporations find it financially advantageous to prioritize immigration workers, leading to layoffs and job displacement for American employees. It goes on to say, drawing attention to companies like Tyson Foods, Williams unveils the extent to which corporations are capitalizing on tax credits to hire thousands of asylum seekers and migrants. The cost differentials between differentials between hiring Americans and migrants, coupled with lucrative tax benefits, compel businesses to opt for cheaper labor alternatives, reshaping the dynamics of the job market. Furthermore, Williams discusses the symbolic relationship between corporate hiring practices and real estate investment in workforce housing, with corporations like Amazon and Blackstone committing billions to affordable housing initiatives. The convergence of tax incentives and corporate investment underscores a significant shift in the real estate landscape. So basically what the government, the leftist government, and some people on the right, and some of these anti-American companies, what they're doing is basically what a lot of people have been saying and I've been saying. They're trying to change the demographics of the country, basically. Okay? Screw the Americans, bring in all the illegals, bring them in by the millions, start controlling the workforce and the real estate force, and basically make Americans broke and homeless, and give all these illegals all the incentives, while the countries that they're coming from, they're also opening up their jails. Because if I don't know if anybody's been noticing, but there has been prison breaks in a few countries right now, and a lot of those illegals are coming here. Case in point, there were 2 prison breaks, I believe, in Venezuela. A lot of thousands of inmates got away. Haiti just had a couple, same thing. Thousands have gotten away, and I believe there's 2 more countries, same thing happened, prison breaks, and it's all done supposedly by gangs and cartels and stuff like that. And what do we have here in America now, especially like in New York and in Chicago? We've been noticing what? A high spike of crimes being committed by who? Illegal migrants. So not only are they letting in the criminals, they're also going to fire Americans, give their jobs away at a lower rate, and then you're going to have companies like Blackstone or whatever the case is, like taking over real estate. Okay, and who do you think they're going to put in these new housing projects, and who do you think is going to help pay for that? You're right, the leftist regime that's in the White House. They're going to give these companies and these businesses all the incentives to tell the American people, go screw yourself, and this is what we want. And for any of you leftists that are going to watch this video, you need to ask yourself this: how important is it to you to give up your house and your job to an illegal? Because if it's important, then you know what? Then go ahead and do so. But just remember, when you're out in the street and homeless and broke, and you see somebody in this country that doesn't speak a lick of English doing a hell of a lot better than you, you could thank your boy Uncle Joe in the White House for this. Okay? And this is the problem with the left. They don't care who gets affected for one of their bad decisions. Okay? What do people think, that these high-paying factory jobs are not wanted, the way they're trying to say that migrants want them more? Really? If you tell a migrant right now, go pick cotton, go pick oranges, go and shovel septic tanks, they're going to do it because they want a job. Americans are the same way. Okay? What the Americans want is a good paying job. And in case anybody goes, oh, well, they just want too much. Well, who was the one or I should say, which party is it that's pushing for higher wages and a higher minimum wage? Like, I don't know, California, they want to raise it up to what, $20 an hour? Why? Because people want good paying jobs to keep up with the times, that whenever there's a Democrat, leftist, socialist, communist in the White House, they keep raising up prices and taxes and screwing up the American economy. So now you're going to have a company like Tyson that's going to add to that chaos. Okay? You know, it is beyond me how Biden cannot come out and go to Tyson and say, you know what, no, you're not going to do that. No, they'd rather go and give Tyson money, okay, to incentivize hiring all these illegals. So when you look at Tyson laying off 1,200 people, 1,300 people, just to hire 52,000 illegals, do the math, people. Okay? Do the math. How much more are they making, okay, to turn their backs on American people? And if you ask me, this whole thing about Tyson saying, oh, that we're a family-owned business, we're American and family-owned, no, you're not. You just showed how much of a traitor you are to this country. It's a damn shame. And I hope they boycott you and your businesses so badly that you just lose in the stock market. You know why? And people may say, well, that's not right. Why not? They're destroying other people's lives. What makes them any better? Okay? But I found a little fun fact. We're going to continue with this. That I need to show everybody. So like that people, I don't know, get the gist of what kind of a company Tyson is. But here we go. Just so people know, I just Googled, you know, just to figure out who owns Tyson Foods. And this is what comes up. Tyson Foods is a conglomerate that produces about 20% of America's beef, pork, and chicken. John Tyson is the chairman of the company. Shandong Bao Shuan Group, a China-based company, has purchased a majority stake in Tyson Foods and now owns 79.5% of the company. Tyson Limited Partnership owns 20% of the company, while the Vanguard Group, wow, Inc., and BlackRock, wow, look at that, are the second and third biggest owners with 9.5% and 5.8% of the outstanding shares, respectively. Can anybody tell me how in the world does Tyson consider themselves an American company for the American people, family owned, operated, and have all this American pride, when you've sold, when your company is 80% of your company, nearly 80% of your company is owned by China? Okay? Not to mention, it's funny, the article I just read about companies owning real estate and how the workforce in real estate favors illegals, and it actually goes against Americans. Look at the two companies that are shareholders of Tyson, Vanguard and BlackRock. Nobody knows who they are? Do your homework. Do your research. And people wonder why Donald Trump, once again, who is right again, people wonder why he is the way he is when he says put America first. This is downright disgusting for this company to do this and to be in cahoots with people that don't give a flying rat's ass about America. Okay? They just don't. It's horrible. It's totally horrible. Now, I'm going to show one more article, okay, before we end this, and then I'm going to give you guys the list of all the products that Tyson owns and sells. Here we go. You know, it's funny that I'm looking at articles and all of a sudden this pops up on my feed today, but this was written 5 months ago, I believe. It's called Black Americans, Asian Americans, Mexican Americans, and White Americans, Illegal Migrants Over Americans. And this is written by thyblackman.com. Okay? It says there are clear established laws in the United States regarding illegal immigration, legal migration, visitors on visas of any sort, and most definitely laws on illegals working in the United States. I'm not going to detail or list out what they are. You, as a fully grown adult, citizen or not, know what they are, or you should have a general idea at minimum. The idea that the Biden administration is exploring the idea that the Biden administration is exploring and prospecting the idea of giving over 400,000 illegal immigrated Venezuelans and those likely from other countries work permits and other associated benefits packages spells out two things to me, and should to you: dereliction of duty and flagrant ignorance of the law. One of the primary roles and responsibilities of the executive branch is to enforce the laws of the United States, not usurp them. Or usurp them. Okay? But let's turn our attention to the grander scheme of things afoot. Have you ever heard of the Tammany Hall machine? How about William Boss Tweed? These playbooks never died, and when you hear terms like the Great Replacement or the extinguishment of the American identity, these are not said or discussed in hyperbole or out of the realm of conspiracy theories. These are very real phenomena that is occurring before our very eyes. The Democratic Party of the United States has held a long-held belief that to have power and to maintain that power, they must subvert, pervert, and subjugate socioeconomic issues to divide and conquer the more vulnerable segments of society. It is not a wonder why God, family, and country is not a central theme of their platform or their talking points ever. Racial issues, now that literally everything is racist, LGBTQ+, specifically the trans movement, abortion rights, gun control, anti-police, CRT, and virtually everything that goes against traditional American values, pre-modernism era is now under attack. Postmodernism era that we are in now, ushered in by the Democrats, ignores the realities that have come to fruition from predictions of having out-of-control policies with little to no balance. Evidence of these alternate universe that has now permeated our society is the abandonment of millions of American citizens who need necessities. Homelessness is now rampant. U.S. veterans are still suffering and committing suicide at exponential numbers. Mental illness has become normalized because resources to address it have been depleted or diverted. And then we have Ukraine, that is our pseudo-U.S. territory. The purveyors of the American crisis are only complicit in these issues because of the two primal reasons. They are paid to push these agendas and ideologies, of course. And number two, they have great disdain of the United States and want to see it fall. Do people hear that? Something I've been saying for months, if not a year, since I started my channel. And many other people have been saying it. And people are ignoring them and say that we are pushing a boogeyman. And yet here it is unfolding in front of us. Okay? I'll read it again. They have a great disdain of the United States and want to see it fall. There's literally no other way to look at it. Either you are complicit or ignorant of what is going on. Silence is compliance, period. Republicans are no better in combating these issues. And I say that, I agree with that, because there are so many people, so many rhinos, and so many people on the right that even when Trump was president were against him. And to this day they still are. Okay? Now, I'm a conservative, I vote Republican, but I don't vote for every Republican. Let's just put it that way. It says, many talk a good game, then sit on the bench when it's time to put boots on the ground or put pen to paper. This very attitude is their part of their downfall in losing support post-Reconstruction era and during the Civil Rights era. Again, most Republicans take the mantra, turn the other cheek, a little too literally. And it's true. They don't fight back hard enough, in my opinion. What Americans need to understand is that immigration to the U.S. isn't bad. It's actually a great thing. But look at this from a micro versus macro mindset. Would you take the hinges off and remove the front door and go to bed, giving free rein to whoever, from whoever, to enter your home unvetted, unabetted, and enjoy the fruits of your labor with no questions asked? Our border has the hinges off and the doors removed for anyone from anywhere to come in while we sleep to enjoy the fruits of our labor unvetted, unabetted, with no questions asked. Except, where would you like to go? You stand to gain more as an illegal immigrant than being an American citizen. As a citizen, I never thought I'd live to utter those words. Okay. You know, if this little article right here, it says it's only a 3-minute read. Okay. Now I highly doubt that this is some white guy saying this. It says "Thy Black Man." Look up their magazine or whatever it is, the subscription. Check it out. Read up on it. But here's the problem. Regardless of what this person just said, the Democrats don't care. See, it's easy to get away with blaming Republicans, which is fine. You can get away with that because there are a lot on the right, like, and I've been saying it, that are just as vicious as the Democrats. But the Democrats are the one that bring up these policies, and then they'll have their lapdogs, the rhinos, come out and say, you know, just fight against me and we'll make it good, but we'll wind up winning and you're still going to get your cut. Like, I don't know, people like Liz Cheney, stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. So it makes you wonder. Like I said, this just came up in my feed, and this article came out. It says it right here, 5 months ago. This came out. Okay. And here we are now with a company like Tyson, who nearly 80% of the company is owned by an entity in China, and then also have investors that are probably two of the biggest real estate mongers, not only in the United States, but possibly the world, other than the Vatican. And I would not be surprised if they're both in cahoots quietly, in all honesty. But read this article again. Let it scare you, people. I'm not trying to fearmonger, but just reading what this person has said, it's like it should put fear into people. Okay? Because, you know, when he just brings up the fact of the great replacement theory, the Democrats always use that tactic, use that phrase, and say, oh, that, you know, that's what the Republicans are saying. This is that, you know, it's a great replacement theory. But look at the state of affairs America's in right now. Millions of illegals coming in. Hundreds of billions of dollars spent on them. Jobs being lost. Crime is up. The border is not closed. People losing jobs. Americans going homeless just to give room to illegals. Okay? And you mean to tell me that using a term like the Great Replacement is a conspiracy? Really? You know, I don't know which other way to put out this information other than just keep putting it out every day so people can get it, and hoping that everybody will wake up more and more each and every day and push this content out and go out there. And if your job is under fire, it's in jeopardy, your neighbors, your family, whoever, stand with them and hold these companies and these politicians accountable for everything, from the loss of jobs to the high taxes to all the crime, the loss of life that's going on. Because if I was coming from the outside in, seeing all this, I wouldn't even stay in this country. I'd get up and go. I'd be like, wait a minute, something is coming and I don't want to be a part of it. Okay? Because the more and more you look at the things that are going on, it has to make you wonder, like, what's next? We still have months to go. We damn near have nearly still a year before the next president comes in, basically. How much more damage can these evil bastards do to America? Okay. Let me give you that list right now before I end this video. Here we go. Here are the companies that Tyson owns. Okay. Screenshot it. Take it with you when you go shopping. Don't buy any of their products. They don't care about Americans. Why should we care about paying them? Because I tell you what's going to happen. If Congress doesn't step in and put a stop to this. Oh, and here's another thing that I forgot to mention. In that article, I should have read the last paragraph, but I didn't. But you guys can go back and look it up yourself. Supposedly, Tyson is going to get help from the government, and or Tyson is going to take out of their own pockets to get legal representation for all these illegals, lawyers, and housing, so like that they can help them with the process of not being, in other words, I guess, being picked up and deported. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. So if that ends up being true, this has nothing to do with, oh, because illegals want to do the job more than Americans. No, this has everything to do to destroy this country from within. That's just going to be one of their companies doing that. But here's all the other ones that I guess they own and they're in cahoots with. Okay, here they are. I'll try to zoom in if I can. I mean, it's going to be a little hard, but if you guys can do it, zoom it in. But you got Tyson, Jimmy Dean, Hillshire Farms Ballpark, Sara Lee, State Fair. I mean, it goes on and on. Bosco, Mexican Original, Barber Foods, Top Chews. I mean, here you go, Landshire. They're all here, people. They're all here. Nudges, Reuben. They're all here. I have this on my phone when I go shopping. Trust me, I will be looking at every company of what they're putting out, and I will not be donating to them. Okay? The same way I always talk about boycotting Walmart, and I know that it's very hard because once in a good blue moon you got to get something from them. And it makes it very, very hard. But when it comes to food, I'm pretty sure that we don't need to buy Sara Lee cake. Okay? I'm just saying. Because enough is enough. These companies need to be boycotted for what they're doing. Okay? For what they're doing. And what really kills me is that they think it's okay to exploit these illegals and say we're going to hire them at a lower rate. And just so everybody knows, the rumor is that the starting wage once they hire them is actually not a bad wage. It's $16.50 an hour, supposedly to start. But they rather screw over Americans and give that, and the government rather help them. Like I said, if it's all true, giving them money, incentives up to $10,000 per illegal, and Americans, they get nothing. They get kicked out. They get kicked out into the street. And I tell you what, if they get away with this, okay, let's say they do hire all these companies, all these workers for their companies. When Donald Trump comes in and says he's going to start deporting people, that will be these companies' biggest downfall. Because once they go in and start arresting people and sending them back over the border, these companies will literally fold overnight. And if it happens, that's what they get, in my opinion. But anyway, that's what I got for you. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around, give it a thumbs up. If you want to help support the channel, I'll leave a link in my description to my Cash App and PayPal and my merch store, TrueOutlawPatriot.com. I know that I only got the one design. I'm asking everybody if you could, buy one of the shirts. That'll help the channel a lot, especially so I can get the new batch of designs out. Shirts are American made. I get them printed here at a company not too far from my house. Trying to get more American made merchandise made, so it's an ongoing process. And trying to keep my prices low, so that everybody knows that everything is 100% made in America. The way I see it, and we need to just start supporting the smaller businesses. These conglomerates that are too big to fail, they can't fail, and they're failing the American people. So the best we can do is look out for each other. Okay, if you can. If not, just subscribing helps out a lot. plain and simple. But remember, people, stay vigilant, keep praying for each other, and keep praying for this country. Peace.